Do you not need to plug this in? There's an outlet right there. So you're not coming out of the board or anything? You're just going outside? You're not getting audio out of the board or anything? That's a lot easier.
Welcome to the 2023 Hart County and Hart County High School Veterans Day ceremony. Join me as we welcome to the stage Mr. Kevin Gaines, the principal of Hart County High School.
Good morning, Ms. LeSueur, veterans from American Legion Post 109 and the VFW Post 8076. Ms. Carter, Mr. Hicks, students, and most of all, our Hart County veterans, welcome to the 2023 Veterans Day program. And veterans, please know that we're honored to have each and every one of you with us today. We recognize your service defends our right to assemble like this. Your service through times of conflict and peace has held the Republic steady, and we know that those that follow you into the military service will continue your honorable defense of our Constitution. This morning, our school community paused to honor the men and women who sacrificed so much that we remain the land of the free. We welcome the veterans who are present with us today, and we hope you will participate in the salute to the individual services during the Armed Forces melody. Our symphonic band looks and sounds great today as always. This year, students will close the ceremony by reading the names of Hart Countyans who paid the ultimate sacrifice and service to their country. We're also privileged to have Ms. Sarah LeSueur, Regent of the John Benson Chapter of the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution, who will present a wreath in the recognition of those honored veterans. We're blessed to have a special guest speaker today, Corporal Brewington. We give special appreciation for your willingness to speak to our students. We know your experiences and wisdom gained through your service will inspire us all. Your service from the front lines of combat to the readiness to defend our Constitution, our nation's service members and veterans answer the call to serve today. Today we hope to express our appreciation for your service.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet Chelsea Aguilar, the Battalion Commander for the Hart County High School Bulldog Battalion. Please stand and join me for the posting of the colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and for the National Anthem. Color Guard, pose. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in... Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem performed by the Hart County High School Symphonic Band. It is customary for uniformed personnel and veterans to stand at attention and render the hand salute while indoors and for citizens to place their right hand over their heart during the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and direct your attention to the stage as Hart County High School Symphonic Band plays the Armed Forces Melody and the Hart County High School JRTC presents the service flags for armed forces. It is customary for the service flag of the respective song remain upright while the other service flags dip in respect. It is also customary for veterans of each service to stand when their service song is played. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Mrs. Sarah Lazor from the John Benson chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution presents a wreath in honor of the veterans of our armed services.
On this significant day, John Benson and SDAR presents this wreath to all of our military veterans who have served in our armed forces. We recognize and honor your sacrifice, courage, dedication to our country. We thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats as we welcome our guest speaker. We appreciate Mr. Hart for coordinating a very special guest, Corporal Kevin Brewington. Corporal Brewington is originally from Union, South Carolina, and he enlisted in the Army as an infantryman in 2010. In 2011, he deployed to Afghanistan with his unit, the 1st Brigade, 25th Infantry Division. On September 22, 2011, On a foot patrol, he was struck by an improvised explosive device, which resulted in the loss of both legs and nearly his right arm, among other injuries. He underwent nearly 50 surgeries, and after a year and a half of therapy, he medically retired from the Army in 2013. Since his retirement, he has worked to support his fellow veterans, serving as an ambassador and working with nonprofits that take veterans on outdoor excursions. He lives in Jonesville, South Carolina, with his wife and 2 daughters. His military awards and decorations include the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and Combat Infantry Badge.
Everybody good? Got it. All right, like she was saying, I appreciate the introduction. Thank you again for Hart County for allowing me to come speak. Spoke at middle school earlier, get to speak at the high school now. I really appreciate you guys. First, can we get a round of applause for our veterans in the house? That's the reason we're the greatest country around, because the veterans before us and the ones that's going to be after us. But I just want to jump in. I want to tell my story, and then I'll tell you how life is now with me. So my name's Kevin Brooklyn. Like she said, I live in Union County, South Carolina. I live in the smallest town of Jonesville, kind of similar to Hart. Just real rural, got a small community. Everybody kind of knows everybody the way it is around my town. So I was born in Virginia. I was raised down here in South Carolina. I went to school at Union County High School. It's a 3A school, just like here. I think I'm moving down, but 3A school, 1,000 kids, 1,100 kids. But graduated in 2008. After 2008 in the high school, I didn't really have a future in mind. Kind of hung out with my friends, and they were going to a college in Spofford County, and I just kind of followed along with them, enrolled in class at a college. I didn't really care for school. I'm sure some of y'all fellow students here don't care for school either. But didn't really care for the structure of school and how school was made up. But I always liked hanging out with my friends. I did good enough to play baseball and play basketball. So I went to college, did okay, but I dropped out after a semester. I wanted to make money. I got tired of listening to the professor stand up there and talk, and it's waking up early, and I just didn't feel like I was really getting anything out of it. So in 2009, I dropped out of college, and come back home and started working. Just did a little plant work, made a little bit of money. Thought I was doing something really, I was hard-headed, 18, 19-year-old, knew everything in the world. But hanging out with the wrong people. I was with friends that I had. Those guys we worked with good influence for each other. Once I got off to work, we'd go hang out in parking lots and do things that 18, 19-year-olds do and that they shouldn't do. So one day we decided to go to a grocery store. Got one of them stole a grocery cart, one of those motorized grocery carts, and all of us got in trouble for it. Got a grand larceny charge and got took to jail. Had to turn myself in. Went from doing, knowing everything to kind of getting knocked down and sitting in jail with, 10 other guys in a cell, and kind of look around and you're like, well, I don't really want this for my life anymore. I don't want to go down this route because it's either a route going to jail and going to prison or, actually being a productive member of society. So I decided, once my dad actually bailed me out, he let me in there overnight, kind of teach me a lesson, and it was a good lesson, to be taught. After I got out, got myself lined up to be expunged, did my community service, paid my fines, and started looking at joining the military. Well, I had a cousin, he was in the military, so I talked to him about it, and he was like, you need to go active duty, that way you get out of town, start your new life, the military help you get structure in your life, and start new beginnings. So I joined in 2010. I was 19 years old. Went and did my basic training down at Fort Benning, Georgia, which is probably not too far from here, 5-6 hours, I would say. And went from there with, I think it's maybe 16 weeks of training, and came home for 2 weeks. Got to see my friends and families, kiss them goodbye, and then got shipped off to Fairbanks, Alaska. So I went from 120 degrees to Alaska in August. So went there after my training, got to Fairbanks, Alaska. I remember landing. It was in the middle of the night, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. The sun was still out. It was like 50 degrees, and I knew I was in a world of shock. It took us to the base. I remember calling my mom that night, crying. I didn't know 19-year-old kids never calls your mom and cries. But I was like, what kind of mistake did I make? What kind of what am I about to go through? But started my end process, got signed to my company, which was 1-5 Battalion. We was in infantry. I was in the front lines. That's what I joined. Wanted to be in the action. So met my friends, met my brothers, what we call them, met them, made things a lot easier. Got to know each other, a whole lot more than you ever know friends around here. So did my training. We knew we were up for our cycle to be deployed in the spring of 2011. So I did my training about 7 or 8 months in Alaska, going down to California, did some training, and then we get our orders to go. We're going to Afghanistan. Only one person out of 150 of my company had ever been to Afghanistan. Everybody else in Iraq. And as Colonel knows, Iraq and Afghanistan is a whole different place. So we get our orders, and I think it was March of 2011. We get shipped out to Afghanistan, get on a plane, and all of us take off. Get to Afghanistan, get to Kandahar is what we call it. It's a big base, kind of like a city, kind of like a small city. And they start running us through drills. If you hear sirens, get in the bunker. It's kind of, an eye-opening experience then. You kind of know that you're in a war zone. But we got our orders as a company to move out to southeastern Kandahar. We call it the southeast. It's a really hot spot for terrorist cells. So we get shipped out down there. The first place we was at for a couple of months really wasn't that bad. It was kind of just really chill. We never ran into any action, no shooting, no IEDs, nothing like that. Our job was there was to build up the community, have a rapport with the community, see what they needed, vice versa, give us information. If there was terrorist cells moving in. I was there, like I said, I was there for a couple of months, moved out to another place. It was a little bit more action. We had a lot of IED making materials in houses. We had people shooting at us all the time, so we would go in and blow these places up that had, IEDs and weapons and caches like that. And then we finally got our orders to move out to Panjwai, Afghanistan. Panjwai kind of borders Pakistan, so they're able to, do whatever they want to do, jump over, cross the border, and then we can't really mess with them. The Panjwai, Afghanistan is also the birthplace of the Taliban. Taliban is now ISIS and all these other things. Taliban was back then in 2011. So it was really still a hot spot for our terrorists to get IEDs set up on us. So our job again was there to build up the community. We were there to build up the Afghan police and their army to put them in base there, and then after we're done, we could move out and they can take over. So we was walking around the village, and we walk around, talk to elders, and see what they need. And then the day that I got hurt, our mission was to sit down, talk to these 4 gentlemen to see if they needed some money, if they could give us some information on some people that was shooting at us or setting up these things for us. So once we got done with that meeting, they all 4 took off in different directions, kind of at a high walking pace. And it was kind of a red flag for us, but we were done with our mission, and we were going to head back to our vehicles. After that meeting, we had a vehicle set up, like 4 vehicles, and we were going to go down, get back in, kind of regroup, and have a nighttime mission. Once we kind of went on the back side of the village, there was an IED sitting up on top of the bridge, and our EOD team didn't want to mess with it. So they said, leave it in place, let's just move through this field, and we can continue on. We were in a line, and I was an RTO. RTO is a radio transmitting operator. It's always attached to our lieutenant, so I'm on every mission. Every time we go out the wire, I go out on communications. And my lieutenant's behind me, and we're walking in a line. I'm about middle ways in the pack, and then the last thing I remember is just a big flash going on, a big orange flash going on. And waking up 5 days later in Germany, and looking around in the hospital and didn't know what had happened to me. So I remember waking up, and I started hallucinating because I was such a strong man. I started thinking there was like an active shooter going on in the hospital, which there wasn't. And my family, they finally got there like a day or 2 after I was there, and they needed to get me stable enough to be able to fly back 8 hours back to the States. So my mom, my 2 brothers, my dad, they were there, and my brothers and my mom, they flew back commercial. My dad flew back on a big airplane. They had it gutted out, had hospital beds in it, doctors, nurses, and we flew back. We had one guy, we had to make an emergency landing in, and the guy actually passed away, unfortunately. But once I got to Walter Reed, Walter Reed is outside of Bethesda, Maryland, or outside of Washington, D.C., and I kind of understood that my legs were gone, my arm was really messed up, call it salvage, right? I have a salvage on, put that together basically. So I got ICU, started doing my surgeries, probably did like 50 to 60, 70 surgeries over the time that I was there. Lived in the hospital for like 5 or 6 months doing, therapies and going through my surgeries and recovering and getting back to where I needed to be able to be, active and get up and do stuff on my own. After my period of time actually being in the hospital, they moved us over to these apartment complexes. That way you can live there, kind of be a normal person, so to speak, and then you can go to your therapy appointments and, try to get stronger. That way you can retire and leave, go wherever you're going back to. So at the end of 2000, but during 2011, after I got hurt in December, my girlfriend at the time, to marry, she said yes. So in 2012, I took my leave right before Christmas, and then in 2012 got married to my wife, about to hit 11 years, and then 2013 is when I officially retired. So I come back home, didn't really have, again, kind of like when I was in high school, didn't really have a way, to see what I was going to do the rest of my life. Nobody prepares you to retire at 21 years old, missing legs, got a messed up arm. So I started getting into doing stuff at our high school, local high school, started coaching basketball a little bit, because I always loved basketball. Did it for a couple of years, or a few years, and after that, kind of got burned out on it, wanted to do something else. Started doing stuff with color guards at one of our sheriff's offices in Hartwell County, and started going out and getting in chases with, going out and seeing how their departments were ran. And so I'm actually an honorary deputy at Hartwell County Sheriff's Office, do stuff with those guys. And during that time, I had a gentleman reach out to me. He was a pilot for the medevac that actually picked me up. He has a video of me getting picked up, so you can see, you see everything from me getting injured. And that's actually what I was doing with the Sheriff's Office, showing those guys the importance of using tourniquets and training and making a real life scenario type stuff. So after I started doing stuff with the Sheriff's Office, I got started hooking up with nonprofits, doing stuff with nonprofit work. And then, there's a lot of guys that get injured between 2010 and 11 and 12. And the nonprofits, they come out, whatever needs you, what you may have, and stuff that you don't even realize you have. It just brings guys together, and you can just sit around and, eat and drink around each other, and it gives you a release and a therapy that you didn't really realize that you needed. So I started hooking up with one nonprofit called Helicopters for Heroes. And what we do is we take these groups of veterans out, these other nonprofits down in Dallas, Texas, and we fly around, shoot hogs like helicopters. And it does sound pretty cool, and it is. It's pretty awesome. But again, just being around other guys that was in the service makes a whole lot of difference. And then I started doing stuff. I had a guy, I was at the White House with President Trump. We started doing some things, and I got in touch with one of those ambassadors for Tunnels and Towers. Tunnels and Towers is a nonprofit that they build homes for veterans that are like me, but me and my wife had already built a home. So they come in, renovated our house, made it more accessible for us, and ended up paying off our mortgage. So Tunnels and Towers now, they build hundreds of homes for veterans all the time that are in my condition. You got Gold Star families, which they're families that veterans got killed overseas. They got a police line, so a police officer gets killed or injured, they come in and build those guys a home too. So they asked me to be an official ambassador, doing stuff like this, going out, talking to schools, talking to people. And then 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years, me and a buddy of mine, we started talking about doing a business. So he was in the floor covering construction type business, and then we LLC'd it to become an official thing. Me and him started that, and now just to make extra money, and now we grew it up to be, a 7-figure business. And we do pretty good, pretty successful. And all it is just managing people that need to going to work, doing floor covering, doing construction, just managing and make money, make extra money off of it. But, we were talking about, kids nowadays, some of them don't want to go to college. Who here doesn't want to go to college? You raise your hands. They don't care about going to college, they don't care about school. Yeah. So there's some people that don't have to go to school. I know teachers hate to hear that sometimes, but not everybody's an A scholar, not everybody's a B scholar, AB scholar, not everybody wants to go to college. And there's a big need right now for going that direction of construction and blue collar work, and you can make a whole lot more money, a lot less stressful sometimes, and you don't come out of school in debt. But, to me, I just think that hopefully that y'all see me as maybe a little bit of motivation, but just to see that everybody has issues, everybody's going through stuff, you know. Once you see me, you might think I might be, you know, oh, guy's missing his legs, feel sorry for him. Those people out there that didn't get injured, that you see, that has harder issues and tougher times, that might maybe be veterans, or just a regular person that goes through depression. And obviously, times are tight with money nowadays. You never know what people are going through. And I heard a good quote the other day, is like, your biggest problem is your biggest problem. So don't think you look at me and just say, oh, I ain't got no problems compared to him. Well, the thing that you have sitting on your heart might be way bigger than me. So I just want to give you guys, you know, a motivation to say that there's other ways to come out successful as a person. Don't think that you struggle in school and that's how life's going to be the rest of your life. There's other ways to do things. There's always, when you get a job, you're going to learn more on that job than you are going to read a book. So I just thank you guys for bringing me out today, bringing me to talk. And another thing, I say that I didn't like school, and I tell you, you don't have to go to college. Now I sit on the school board at Hart County. So it gives you a different perspective of that you don't have to, you know, always be an A student to be successful in life. But again, I want to thank Hart County for allowing me to come out here, Thomas Tyler, Mr. Hicks for reaching out, our VFW, those guys are truly heroes. You know, the guys that went to Vietnam didn't get the recognition that they got in other wars. So again, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come out here, our superintendents, our principals. Y'all did a great job, got a great school. I love it. So again, thank you, Georgia, for allowing me to come out here. I appreciate you.
Morning. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Sir, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I present myself. Sir, my name is Mark Ron. What was your motivation to serve?
So again, it kind of falls back. I really had a direction in my life. You know, I got in trouble, so I knew I needed to make a change. And the only way that I really thought at the time was, you know, join the military. It gives you an avenue of kind of escape. It gives you a new life. So I knew I needed to make that change, or I was going to keep going down the wrong path of drugs and underage drinking and going to jail and probably going to prison or dying, because, you know, that just kind of leads into each other. So I knew I needed to make a change, and so I joined the Army because I knew I needed to get out of town. It was you know, to sit here and look at me and, you know, feel sorry for me. Some people want to, but it's really the best thing that ever happened to me. The people I get to meet, the things I get to do things like this, and meet other veterans that are, you know, quote unquote worse shape than I am. But it just brings it all into perspective that people go through stuff. Life throws curveballs at you, and you just gotta roll with it and keep on going. Appreciate your question.
Sir, my name is Cadet Edwin Franco, and my question is, what did your cultural experience involve while serving in Afghanistan?
So there, you know, our big thing was shaking hands, kissing babies, that thing. It's in the Army, but you know, they say it ain't politics, but our big thing there was like building up communities, kind of, you know, this dirt huts and houses and limited water and no schools. So we want to give, you know, those resources to people and realize that, you know, we're here to help. And now you look back on it, you know, we pulled out of there and everything got took back over by ISIS, but we were there trying to prevent that happening, and then kind of see the downfall of it. Did it work? It didn't work, but I think, you know, I brought back that, you know, the people are people. Like, they're good people everywhere and bad people everywhere. So you can't put them in the same box. You know, some of those guys and girls were pretty good, especially our interpreters work with. You know, those guys are our communication between our elders and stuff. And actually, once we pulled out, you know, they left a lot of those interpreters, had to go back and rescue them. So I was actually in touch with my interpreter. He was actually part of that rescue mission, so I was able to help him with another nonprofit that will get him his family out of Afghanistan safely from, you know, being killed and back over in the States. But thank you for your question.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
My name is Hansa Garcia. How has this experience changed your outlook on life and future goals?
Yeah, so again, it kind of goes back to after I got hurt, I was never one to like give up on anything. Like I'm always a person like if he can do it, I can do it type thing. That's what kind of motivated me when I was in basic training. It's like, you know, all these guys are doing it, I know I can do it. So that never really crossed my mind like suicide or giving up, you know, or doing. I knew I had to like every day get up, reach a goal, go to therapy, and get back to a regular life. Because just because, you know, at that time, you really think about it, in a year and a half from getting blown up to going back home and retiring. It's not, you know, in aspect things, it's a very short period of time. So I think it really just motivated me to be able to gain my independence again and figure out my body and figure out a new life. So, and I always tell people, my biggest therapy was being able to drive. So being able to get my truck by myself and be able to drive. So I know like 14, 15-year-olds here that have to rely on my parents to us, you know, it drives me crazy sometimes. So that's what my biggest probably was, being able to drive and just take off when I want to do whatever I want. Thank you for your question.
So my name is Daniel LeVar. Knowing what you know now, would you encourage others to serve in the military and why?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, obviously, you know, we're not in a war time right now. You know, things happen in the Middle East, and, you know, things like that might pop off. But I was still, especially people that don't have a goal and a future in mind, I think that it's a very good career. I know these guys can attest to it. There's so many jobs in the military that once you come out, you can do anything. You know, I was a grunt, so you couldn't do too much with that. But I think, to me, I was in the Army, and I was able to just join the Air Force if you can, because it's a whole lot easier. You know, you just got to work smarter, not harder. And I got a stepbrother that's in it, and I see what he does. He obviously don't go to combat, but who cares at this point in time? You make better money and got a better retirement. It's a whole lot easier on your body. So I would say join if you really don't have any goals in mind, power, or whatever you want to do. Thank you for your question.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand in honor of Corporal Brewington one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain silent as we recognize the Hart County veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Spanish American War, George Weisman, Mexican Punitive Expedition, DeWitt, welcome.
World War I, John W. Adams, Owen J. Alford, Erskine Allen, George W. Kaysen, Preston B. Carter, Samuel J. Shaffer, William J. Conley, Charles P. Dodd, James B. Estes, Henry Gaines, Anderson Harris, John R. Heaton, Oscar B. McCurley, Lawrence Nix, George W. Patterson, Claude Stevenson, Gilbert Thompson, Yancey J. Wilson.
World War II. Clifford A. Allen, Paris B. Frey, Willie Lee Cate, Gordon B. Chaston, Clifford D. Drake, Jack C. Fleming, Lucy Franklin, Benny Lindsay Gaines, Lloyd R. Gaines, Brian M. Greensby, Francis E. Haley, John Parks Harper, W. A. Hayes, Joel L. Burton, J.T. House, Robert Johnson, Walker H. K., Fred M. Martin, Rankin McGee, Clarence A. Murray, John G. Melms.
Joe Franklin O'Barr, Winston O'Barr, James W. Purcell, Clarence W. Rice Jr., Robert B. Richardson, Charles S. Roberts Jr., John E. Rucker, Frank Lee Sanders, Enoch A. Scales, Knox L. Scales, Frank Lee Seymour, Ralph Sherrard, Travis G. Smith, Holton P. Stovall, Thomas G. Wellborn, William Marion Wilcox, Jack C. Wilson.
Korean War, Fletcher Gaines, Clarence Heaton Jr., McDoyle McLean, Carl Wesley Rowland, Amos Cleveland P. Temple.
Vietnam War, Louis John Clever, Ralph Durward Cordell, Thaddeus Durrett, Bobby James, Galen Minor Smith, and Sadie H. Whitworth.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as two distinguished members of the Hart County Marching Band will now play taps. Please observe a moment of silence following. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony today and all days of the year. I ask that you will remember the sacrifices of those who have served to protect our cherished freedoms, especially to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you, and may God bless America.
The juniors and seniors will report back to second period. Juniors and